It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Good afternoon, guys. It's the 9th of August 2019. It's a 2:15 p.m. CET, 1:15 London, and we are about to cover Canadian job market live here on Light Forex Global YouTube channel. It's my pleasure to be with you here. Our last meeting this week, there were some fireworks during our morning meetings. I'm going to briefly describe what happened, and then we will switch to Canadian dollar right ahead of the data. But before this stuff, risk warning as usual, guys. Please bear in mind, trading FX on margin, trading crypto on margin carries a high level of risk. May not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss small or initial investments, so please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Okay, briefly, first I was short euro dollar with tight stop. I've been trying to do a little bit of the front run. I've been trying to trade breakdown trade. I've been trying to analyze once I've been stopped out. I've been trying to analyze lesson learned. I know where I made the mistake. Very tiny range, and I've been trying to make the breakdown trade. Come on, Piotr, doesn't make sense. Anyway, I've been stopped out here on the euro dollar. Then we took live and we were discussing live the price action on cable after horrible UK GDP and all these data we got this morning. But we saw strong recovery. I've been at the very beginning, I've been very tiny short on the cable. Then I started to build some exposure. Overall, nice recovery of the stop on euro dollar, plus something left as well. So good here on cable. But to be honest with you, it might sound right now as it was so easy, right? But it wasn't, guys. It wasn't, to be honest with you. If you were with me this morning, and we saw this huge bounce, right? There was a few stops from the higher time frame taken out. But guys, we were discussing this stuff based on the 1 minute supply zone. And that's where I've been trying to take the bigger exposure. I did once the market started to move lower. The first one was at 15, then it was a little bit higher. So overall positive. I cut shorts. The first move was when we were testing post GDP low, looking for stop. And then on the recovery. So overall, not bad. Not from the top to the bottom, as some guys doing. But overall, yeah, nice recovery. Now, what we are going to talk about? We are going to talk about the Canadian dollar. We are going to talk Canadian dollar from the perspective of the job market, and we are awaiting for the payrolls, right? Canadian payrolls. From the unemployment rate perspective, looks like no change. Employment change 15.2 versus minus 0.2 points, 2.2. So we will see. Overall, the job data is the one thing, and oil is a second thing. Especially if we remember. If we remember the things from 2 days ago when we saw this recovery on oil, when the Saudis said that they will do whatever it takes to stop prices to fall lower. So that's the one thing. But today, I'm trying to find where is it. But today we had the report that EA expect a little bit smaller oil demand. Let me check the details. Where I have it. There was a, where is it? Jeez, where I have it. Yeah, EA, it was this morning ahead of the UK data. There was a EA report, and there's a few numbers. EA lowers 2019 oil demand growth estimate by 100,000 barrels to 1.1 million, and that was the one thing. And also it was a comment from the Russian side about the extending the smaller output. It's gonna be all about this estimation. So overall, well, on one side we have this verbal intervention. On the other hand, there is a global slowdown, and there is, in my opinion, I might be totally wrong, but there is no chance we are going to see oil above 50 with if that's the important thing. If we are going to have a global slowdown, some kind of the let's say light crisis, I don't think we can stay with oil above 50. And so today I'm going to watch very similar to what we discussed during the UK data. From the weak Canadian dollar side, I'm going to go long on USDCAD, especially that we are approaching very significant levels. We are approaching weekly open, we are approaching demand based on the daily chart, as well as we have demand towards 31.50, so quite wide range from the demand perspective. What happened over the course of the week? We were higher on Wednesday, where we hit the supply based on the combination from the 13th of June and 14th of June, nice rejection, so some kind of the range, and I'm looking the bottom of that range to hold in case of the weaker data, and we will see attempt to build that body bigger and trying to get back at least towards 33. On the other hand, if we are going to get strong Canadian data, then I'm gonna to look for the continuation lower here on pound versus Canadian dollar, especially that we are breaking through weekly open here. So in case of the strong Canadian number, that's where I'm gonna to look to my opportunity to try to join the party to the downside. And from intraday perspective, I'm going to look to try to trade it around this breakout point towards 59.60 or 160 psychological level, right? Doesn't look good here. So overall, I think I'm prepared for both, for good and weak number. I'm not gonna chase the market. I wanna see the market reaction, right? And then we'll decide. Especially that there is no need to rush right now. The morning was busy for me. I didn't start well, but yeah, I managed to recover and be green on the day. So we will see. So this breakout, the supply, post data supply, we'll see. Just demand over here in the combination through those two upper shadows, and then this big demand around 31.50. Around 2 minutes left. Don't forget that at the same time we are going to get US PPI, where the expectations are a little bit higher. Hi Mer, how are you doing? All good? Hopefully all good. Okay, so 1 minute left. Short advert. And we are good to go. How are you? How Augustine? Oh, nice. Aruba. Perfecto. How are you doing, Augustine? All right, 20 seconds left. Canadian is that stronger. Three, two, one, and let's have a look what we are going to get here. So there is a immediately reaction to the data, completely opposite to the second what we've seen before. Canadian dollar is weakening. From the GBP CAD perspective, we are approaching the supply. So let's have a look where we are from the higher time frame as we are looking to buy USD-CAD because of this weakness. Be careful right now as we are approaching supply based on the intraday 1 hour chart. That's what we are trying to hold previously. So we are approaching this one. Let me provide you the number. The Canadian weak. It's really weak. It's almost like US NFP. Yes, you're right. And it's weak. Minus 24.2. 5.7 employment rate, and we are weakening like hell here. Yeah, so we are. So I'm going to go through the round numbers right now. So the first one is around 32.50 in case of the pullback. The second one is 32.20 in case of the pullback. Hopefully, it's not gonna be one-way ticket to the upside here on the Canadian. There was also building permits weak as well. Canadian building permits. And there was a US PPI, right? In line with expectations. Ex-food and energy weaker. Let me put it for you into the chat. All right, that's the PPI. Nothing special from that perspective. So watching this Canadian, and we are testing right now the supply based on the intraday chart. That's gonna be interesting. In terms of the dynamic lines, we also hit the trend line, falling trend line. But I do prefer horizontal levels. GBP CAD also hit intraday supply based on what we've seen post GDP number. I may look for longs around 50, eventually adding into the weakness towards 20 with stop below the initial reaction, right? So let's have a look what we are going to get here. I'm not gonna chase the prices here, it's simply too high. And that was a 1 minute move, meaning that we can even call it the gap, and there is a chance market will try to close that gap. So there is no reason to be in rush. So trying to figure it out, the Canadian trade. It's a Canadian dollar is a commodity block currency, right? So would be good to see some kind of the risk of sentiment as well. That would add that would add into the Canadian weakness. The only thing is, if you remember, I've been talking about this quite a few times already, about the oil. That what I've heard for guys trading oil every day and trading oil big. There was the sentence going around usually on Friday during the peak session that you don't wanna short oil on Friday, right? So that's the only thing I'm worried here, that with good oil prices we might see some kind of destabilization in the Canadian dollar. So let's have a look right now if we can get one-to-one correction based on what we see right now, from where we are going to get 30 to 50. So yeah, that would be good if we start to correct from somewhere here, right around current level right now, and that would bring us towards 30 to 50, 30 to 25. So I would like to see maybe some kind of the, if you wish, we can call it as a flag formation or something like this. So yeah, a little bit deeper pullback here. And if you were listening me this morning, you know that I'm waiting on euro dollar around 12.15. If you were not, then yeah, 12.15 is a level for me to watch the price action on euro dollar. But the euro dollar right now is supported by the euro pound price action, right? Because of the huge move to the upside on euro pound. That's why I've been caught on my stop being hit on the short euro dollar, right? Good thing that I recovered with short cable. But lesson is learned. Too tight range, and I've been trying to trade the breakdown trade. Anyway, recovered with cable. But again, watching on the second monitor euro dollar, and I wonder if we are going to get there. But if we are going to test this 12.15. I might try to take the advantage, especially if we are going to see some kind of the rejection on a smaller time frame. Anyway, very interesting in this USDCAD trade. We'll see. Don't forget that in case of, I don't know, some kind of the monster American dollar weakness, we have the levels below the reaction point. So it might be the case, you know, the huge weakness towards 32 and below, and eventually then and only then recovery towards the end of the day. That also, you know, we cannot rule it out, this stuff. Market is talking louder and louder. And we are going, yeah, and we are testing these levels right now. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. If what is this? Is it 50 yet? It is 50. I may try. Take the advantage here. Tiny, and I'm going to try to add a 20 with the stop. Below the reaction point. That's why the very tiny exposure, because stop is a little bit wide right now. You know, that's the last place where I wanted to live. In case I'm going to see that something is going on, something against me bigger, I don't have to wait for the stop. I don't have to add at 20, right? So that is the last line of the defense for me to be on a safe side. So this 1-to-1 round number 50 or a little bit below 50 plus 50 FIP. Yeah, that's all we can do here right now. Top of the hour gonna be the key where we are. If we are going to have huge upper shadow, I might decide to cut. Crude is testing supply as well based on the hourly chart. So ahead of the New York Open, we should have something in our favor here right now, right? We hit that supply on oil. We are pulling back a bit, but not huge rejection yet. Now, what's the danger? The danger is that market will treat those two waves, this 1-to-1, will treat as a one wave, right? And may decide at some point to go and test this 3220 I've mentioned before. That could be the case as well. If that's the case, we are about to see the weakness soon. And if that's going to happen right now, meaning that they are going to build the upper shadow on the hourly, and I might try to run away from that trade. Just cut that. So what I want to see the move above 32.65. Let's have a look how it looks on a 15-minute chart. This upper shadow is a little bit too big. So we know everything, 1-to-1, all those waves. So let's make some cleaning. And let's switch to 15 minutes. Yeah, this shadow is a little bit too big for me. Still 50 seconds to go. So move and break above 63, 65 would be great. Otherwise, this deeper pullback might be on the card. All right, so the deeper pullback is possible. I'm going to move to +1. Even if we are going to go higher from here, it's not going to be taking into the consideration from the very beginning, from the risk-reward perspective, it's not going to be the big trade. because of the initial stop. The last line of defense was quite wide. Of course, the exposure was minimal in that case. But anyway, we'll see. I need to see end of the hour above 65. That would be great. +1 is here, so that might be even nice end of the week after the failure with euro dollar early morning, and then with nice recovery live with pound, with cable during the United Kingdom GDP, especially when we finished the huge move was later on, right? But we had a plan. We were short before we finish our meeting. All the details been provided, so would be good to see overall dollar strength, but there is a last few minutes consolidation on the cable, but consolidation below the 80. I think that's the huge development on the cable. Of course, it's the end of the week, and that's gonna be the question if the bears are going to try to hit more and close the week below 120, or if we are going to bounce between 2080 and 20. Euro dollar, because of what is going on with pound, is supported here. Dollar yen is right above 105.50, and that's what we discussed as well, that in case of the dollar yen, it might be that the bears were trying 3 times this week to break through 105.50. It might be that ahead of the weekend some guys are gonna to try to square the shorts to try to avoid the exposure over the weekend, and we might see, I'm not saying huge rally, but at some point we might see some kind of the short covering on the dollar yen as well. So that's how I see the things, guys. In relation to euro, at some point, if we are going to get back below 1190, 1170, that might be the case for 1140, 1130. Don't forget that we have this a little bit of the mess with Italy, but also today, after the US session closed, the Fitch rating agency is going to review Italian rating, right? So it might be some volatility when there is no liquidity over the last hour of the day, or it might be the delay reaction with the gap, I don't know, either way gap on Sunday open. So 1 minute, huge spike to the upside, and then nothing. Oh. So even they don't want to retest these highs. Come on. Anyway, locked +1 just to avoid on Friday when there is no time to recover again. And I've been fighting with this today after euro dollar failure. So I recovered with the cable. Thank you. UK GDP. So yeah. I'm gonna to watch carefully. So what's the plan? Trying to summarize the week. You know, that's what I'm always saying. If you are good for a week, then maybe Friday afternoon it's the time to start your weekend, right? If you were unlucky over the course of the whole week, forget that you will recover Friday afternoon. You know, sometimes 1 in 100 maybe, but overall you may double your losses Friday afternoon, especially when the US guys are leaving. But anyway, if you want to know my plan, is watching euro dollar around 12.15 from the short side perspective and only ahead of the London fixing. Cable, in case of retest of 2080, 21 and failure, I might try to grab few pips on the short side. Looks like I'm gonna be stopped at break even, let's say, at entry on the Canadian dollar. So then I may want to watch Canadian dollar lower based on the bigger waves. That's what I've mentioned, that market may want to treat it, those two small waves on the minute chart as a one wave, then the second wave, and in that case it's 32.20. So that's my next level. I'm not gonna, in case I'm gonna be stopped here, stop. It's like entry level, right? So then I'm going to lower, eventually I'm going to watch 32.20. Dollar yen, even I think we might see some kind of the short covering, at least a bit. I'm not interested in yen crosses. I do expect huge fight on the Nasdaq around current levels, so I don't want to participate with what is going on yen crosses. I think watching euro dollar, watching a cable, and watching USD Canadian dollar is gonna be enough for me for the Friday afternoon. Don't forget that we have, I've been talking about this morning, we have around the 1 billion in option expiration at 112. So we have the 10 a.m. New York, meaning 1 hour 8 minutes left towards the option expiration. So probably euro dollar is going to be where it is for the next at least 70 minutes. As looks like this 112 is gonna work as a magnet. No huge expirations in dollar yen, unless it's 105.90, 106. So 30 pips from here. There is a 1 billion as well, a little bit more about than 1 billion. 10 pips zone, 105.90, 106. All right. So USDCAD long been closed at entry level at +1 actually. So commission, and it's like at entry level. You know my plan, guys, what I'm going to watch. Then we are going to discuss this on Tuesday, as you can see on the under the chart, the information about our next meeting. We are going to cover pre-London Open live on Tuesday, as usual, 8 a.m. CET, 7 a.m. London. You are more than welcome to join me, guys. Don't forget, I promise you, market will be open again on Sunday. So don't try to chase the market. Don't try to front run. Don't be trapped. Recharge your battery. I wish you pleasant weekend. It was my pleasure to be with you this week. See you again next week. Have a good one. Goodbye.
It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.